So it's not actually being the best or being the goodest boy there is, or girl there is, or whatever other gender you want to add there is, but it's the fact that each person believe in themselves. These bots, these dudes who have not really been alive for that long, they believe me. They've put their life in my hands. Like, see, we don't know what's gonna happen, but sire, you're the Lord. We shall do as you say. We are simple serfs, peasants. What do we know about why the sun shines, or why we get randomly attacked, or why we need to survive on berries while building a large structure when there are just three of us? But they don't understand God. That's why they are bots. That's the difference. Okay, so that was counting of five and then one wall. These are those central pillars. I mean, actually, to be honest, this is what should be made of rock if you ask me. 100%. If there is one thing I had to make of rock right in the beginning of the game, if there was one thing I could change, then this would be it. But otherwise, okay. So that's that end wall. Hey, it's kind of nice how it turned out to be right next to our default stockpile. So God does have his charms, you know. Oh, let's go. Okay, so that was five right there. Okay, so the two edge walls all marked out. We can now go ahead and place stuff in. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. Am I getting it in the right line? I can't really see because of those trees. Okay, let's build this out now. Yes. That should be it. Now I know that I am thinking in a very square-like orderly fashion, sorry. I agree. I mean, if you are God, you do get to be a little controlling and domineering and wanting everything to be perfect. I mean, to be honest, that's practically a job. So yes, might as well keep it uniform. If everything is what we make it, then I'd like to think that we have a plan. Okay, now see, this is why we put those doors at different corners, because the middle is taken up by beams and you can't have doors beneath those beams. So these are beams, as I had mentioned, so this basically helps in my architectural layout. Okay, we're really struggling with this. Yes, thank God for switching off that. Thank God, or the developers, for that tree toggle button. See, the developers are your God. To be honest, I'm just being God on rent, or in the part time. God on hire. That's such an amazing name. Want to breathe life into your uh, game or world? I would rather call it world. I'm I'm a god for hire, and I come for free. That would be amazing, dude. Okay, four doors and four corners. At the risk of looking like a swastika in a design that uh, is diagonal as well as square. I hope. I mean, I don't think people will really think that much. It's fun, the geometry that is involved. And yeah, I do agree with you. I do focus too much on the perfect. Yep, we all come with our vices, don't we? So the next thing that I will definitely need, okay, is that research table. Should I switch it off right now? No, no, no. Yes, those beds. And they do need somewhere to sleep. Okay, why is that unavailable? Okay, research table. She's still working on it. I hope this gets us fast, and I think once she gives it, I'll delete that, deconstruct that table. Okay, there are extra pillars made on the left side. I do need to cut that off. Look at these dudes obediently working. Now, the fun fact is, regardless of where their construction skills are, all these people will definitely be good at construction. I mean, they've built a keep out of nothing. I mean, obviously, somebody gave them the idea, but yet it was their hands. They did the work. Henry, Eric, and Letty. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. So I think there's more than enough space here for the materials. Now the good thing about materials is, if they rot, it doesn't matter. It's freely found and freely gotten again. If it's taking too much space and you're not using it, it will automatically rot. So that's good space freed up for you. Okay, one thing that I have noticed is food really does spoil very quickly, I must say. So I will also be building a basement, but I think I will wait off that. Now, at the risk of being wrong, I'm going to wait off till we get our bedrooms. That seems logical for me. Each person a room for himself. Well, you're a king. This is your own land. I mean, each one of them is a lord. That's what man needs to understand, or humans, more precisely, in correct words, need to understand. They are gods. It's what they imagine that they do. And what they imagine together is what, in this game, I tell them to. Now you need to question yourself. Are you in a game? The answer may be more surprising than you have ever thought of. Okay, it's night time. They've all gone to sleep. So let's just have a look at the stats. Intellectually, okay, she's our researcher. Okay, it saves every night and it maintains around a 5 day probably autosave. Like, let's say if I am at day 100, then I will have day 95 to 100 autosaves with me, approximately. Okay, these things need to be deconstructed. Or could we do something with it? Let perfection have a little flaw. I don't know. I would rather that, to be honest, I think as we keep building, the flaw will come out on its own. We don't need to do something that is needs to be done previously. What I need are more people. I'll be honest with you. Even at triple speed, this is too less people. I need the influx of people to be more. I mean, how else would you pressure somebody to, actually go out and make different decisions to accommodate the rapid growth or influx? It's like, let's say you suddenly became popular. How would you increase your uh, capacity to still direct everything? For example, this is currently a direction. I am directing them. But obviously, if let's say I do become popular, I can't direct people, can I? So I think score 1 for video games. If you really like controlling people, then probably video games is where you should go and take it out on. You know why? Because have you ever thought that you need to take care of their food, their uh, drinks, their shelter, everything? It's all up to you. I mean, if you fail, nothing really happens to you, but they really suffer. So, at the risk of being a little controlling, you actually think of somebody else other than your own and for non-selfish purposes. If that's not conditional brain training for people to be more like God, I mean, if that was my motive, then that's how I would train. Isn't it perfect? I mean, think of it. Throughout history, we've never had such opportunities to affect our minds. We could always go out and affect the outside world. We discovered that so many multiple thousands of years ago. Sorry, thousands, millions of years ago. But how do you convince somebody of something that you don't know yourself for sure is there or not? That person has to experience it, don't they? It's only God by side. A God who can't is still not relevant or can't show himself should not be relevant. Example. Now obviously the old gods, those were the old gods. In this game they have a provision for them. It's called the Oak Brethren. It's like the people who believe in nature basically. So actually I'm making a mistake. The shrine of restitution should be indoors, whereas the Oak Brethren shrine should be outside. But it's kind of bad that they want an Oak Brethren shrine. It should not be shrines. Sorry, there is a shrine and they want a temple for an Oak Brethren shrine. Now that doesn't really make sense. Honestly, if you ask me. So what I might do is build multiple shrines, or as of now let's put them in one place, keep one to get that benefit, and then probably just spread out the rest. No, try and see the difference between the two. Hey, if each person is a god, then each person should have their own shrine. That's really interesting to think about, to be honest. Building temples. Ha! That's how politicians get us together. To be honest. To be honest. Okay. Okay, I definitely want these people going upstairs and getting that angle from which they can shoot up. I'll be making some stockpiles here, so I might as well step up this floor in this area. Is there some reason I can't pull that entire length? I must be. I can't just haven't figured it out yet. Let's just put it over that. I noticed that they haven't yet deconstructed it. Somebody needs to do that on priority. See, there's where you as God come in. You set the plans and then you move around seeing whether people are doing what you've asked them to or not. If you ask me if God was among us, he would get bored. To be honest, see, time moves much faster for him, right? If he's there, like example in this game, for them it's days, but for me it's just been a few minutes. They've already had 3 days. Day 4, sorry, 4 days, but they've completed 3 days, so I stick to what I said. So imagine if that's the situation with God. Why would you want to spend so much time with them until and unless you really liked to be controlling? You see, if I think that whatever can be God is God, then I would think that haven't humans already made themselves gods? You see, for example, see, if the truth that we are looking at is that, let's say all the gods were to come and ask for your personal favor. To be honest, that's why the old gods were so many. Each god had a certain area of dominance. The people in that range, he showed himself to them and they believed in him. It was a give and take relationship. He helped them out in times where they were stuck and they prayed to him and kept him alive. See, God is just a figment of people's imagination. The power that they birth to keep themselves safe. Now, you might tell me, oh, then why shouldn't each person believe in himself? To be honest, there is no reason why one shouldn't. But we ourselves don't exert enough energy or direction to the trail of time to actually affect it much. See, what has to happen and the things which are happening, you might think are very governed or planned, and actually, to be honest, I think we give ourselves an assurance by thinking that no matter what, humans have a plan for it. But what if God is such that just exists? It doesn't care about what you think. I'm using it very specifically here. It is not one that we can explain. God is what it is. It's rain, it's the earth turning, the soil changing. It's the thing that grows your plants, but also the thing that makes you want to put down wooden floors. It comes and goes in its own pleasure. It doesn't care about you. If that were what we were continuing to believe, then we would still definitely believe that Mother Earth, nature, another way of saying the same thing, is God. We try and explain everything around us while disregarding the simple fact of what is definitely in front of us. We think our lives have meaning. We think that, okay, it matters whether I had two kids or whether I even passed high school or even whether I was ever educated. These things don't matter. But to you, it does. That's what makes us human. You can't fight it, you can't give it up. At the end of the day, you are human. That's where we limit ourselves. That's the limit that we draw for ourselves. We can set mindless bots to do whatever we bid, but how do we get people together? How do we get people to work together? Somebody was going to be a barbarian snack. We have to help him. Help him. Dior, come on in. Okay, he's a good fighter. That will come use later on. Tailoring. Good fighter who's good in tailoring. Interesting. Here, right now, since you'll be hurt, your first priority will be healing yourself, and after that, probably just hauling these things around, because that's light work and you won't really be much problem. I mean, affected by it. I'll put tailoring as one so that whenever we start, you do it. And obviously, brother, you need to grow and harvest, though we are not going to do it right now, so you're safe. Come on in, brother. Take some rest. We are constructing something large. We'll even take care of you. There's Letty helping you. There. She's singing a lullaby to you so that you heal faster. For all it means, she really cares. Why? Because in this kind of a world, you really need the people around you, the people who are there in front of you and in your troubles with you. I mean, obviously, your job would be to not let troubles come on them, but you both realize that, to be honest, troubles are just part of the journey. It comes as it comes, it is what it is. There is no reason for it. We, like these bots, are just existing. We go about doing our own things, living our own lives. Letty just laid the stuff there and she went to sleep. She couldn't take it anymore. She's like, I can't work right now, I'm sorry. You have told me to sleep and I must obey God's wishes. Well, that's her having a joke back at me. Well, because of her, Henry gets to sleep on the floor. So the joke's on them, to be honest. You see, it's these kind of experiences which I really think would make existing or trying out to be God really rewarding. I mean, why not cultivate a mindset or habits that promote you to do the right thing? I know gods do come with their vanities, they have their vices, but you are human at the end of the day, aren't you? So you are allowed to have those vices too. But the very fact that you have moved away from just thinking of yourself to thinking of others, thinking of why they should exist and how should their lives be, what would be best for them. You're giving life to something that doesn't. Kind of like birthing, to be honest, but without babies. But I must tell you, this does feel a little like owning a pet goldfish, as they say. I've never owned one, but I understand the sentiment behind it. Okay, so now at least we have a ramp for those enemies who are coming in 4 hours. Boys, this is it. This is our first challenge. Yeah, it's okay. You guys are already prepared well. When you're going to be constantly attacked, you should always have armor on. It's like logical sense. Though I do think I might regret that, or I might change that, to be honest. See, it does say that they are having a small percentage effect on movement speed. And the fun part is these things are not said when you hover over it, but only when they have equipped it. If I could change something, this is definitely one thing that I would change. Okay, now let's lay down this wall here. Okay, the villagers are ready for battle. The disinherited folk are ready for battle. Just 3 of them have come. Huh, you think Milton, Jacob, and I forgot to see the last dude's name, you 3 can affect me? Oh, please, they have the protection of a god. Who's commanding you? Another bot. You know what, we're going to take a chill. But yes, as I said, okay, that horn means that they are coming now. It's like first they want you to spot them so that it's all fair and square. Makes sense? Makes sense. Okay, everybody first go at top, and Eric should be selected separately so that he comes in front, so that you don't have to go about clicking on one of them each at a time. Eric, this dude is already here. Reach to Jacob. Oh wow, that was a good arrow. He's already hobbling. Jacob is ruining the day he ever came, and he's dead. Raymond is bullheadedly trying. Milton, will he even reach us? Hey, you know, we should probably have told them to hit Milton, but well, this was a mistake, to be honest. Now, yes, this dude is dead and this dude is running. Can you shoot him, please? Can we hit him? Now see, what I've noticed is the glitch in this game, that as I call it, this dude, if he's moving, he misses most attacks. Like even for Eric, that's the strategy I was using. If nobody attacks you, you'll keep running. The funny part is, if somebody attacks you, you'll wait to fight back. I mean, if I could change one thing, that's what I would have. But well, I'm anyway exploiting it, so there is no point asking too much. Should we pursue? You know, I would like to get that guy dead. Or you know what? Let's undraft them all and just put down 2 graves. You can use this as a tally counter. How many enemies have you defeated? Who dared and died? Who Vini Vici and got VD'd? Graves, they shall dig it their own accord. Those dudes are good. Let's leave it a little away from us. Though I do hope I find it, because there are definitely times where I end up not finding it. Okay, so one dude is doing the hauling while the others are working. Makes sense. Like you need one guy always in hauling, so that people can go around, you know, cutting things. Okay, right now I don't have a place for the restitution god inside. The fun fact here is you can break shrines, deconstruct shrines, and again put it elsewhere. That is simply not possible in our land. People forget that God is in their hearts and think that God is in a physical place somewhere. Oh, we put down 2. You know what? Right now, let's give them 1 1. We shall do the multiple oak brethren ones later. Should we? Let's put in 3 squares away so that we can build a wall in the middle and 2 different shrines. Might as well do that. So, the fun fact is praying comes as leisure activity. I mean, that's a little weird, but okay. I mean, it's under the leisure tab. It's like they are also admitting that you can't think God is keeping you alive in this time. I mean, to be honest, I am, and I am God. So does that make me God? Sorry. So yes, if you have a love for control, or instead of trying to exert it out onto the real world, just take out your vices on a game. Imagine that if people were horny and just went and involved themselves with the game, for lack of a better word. I mean, I'm not saying everybody would like it, but hey, each one converted is also a victory. Each one converted is also somebody saved. Okay, then let's put a door. I don't know how we missed that door. Hey, are you guys going to do this? Dear, okay, I can just prioritize deconstructing the wooden wall. Sorry, constructing the wooden wall. Cannot start construction, need to clear. Okay, so there is an option for deconstructing. That's weird. Is that a glitch? Let's put somebody's primary focus as cutting. Let's see if he does it. Henry, are you smart enough to figure out what God wanted? And he is. Wow, Henry is a really smart duckling. Okay, let's send that back to normal. Okay, Henry has gone to sow some yardley. Hey, wasn't that yardley already sowed? Henry, what were you doing there? Okay, now you can go and construct that. So yardley? Barley, my bad. Why did I say yardley? Okay, barley needs to be sowed, and barley was the first thing I sowed. Why? Because somehow in this game they have completely disregarded the fact that you need water. So some people don't drink, and I don't know what to give them to drink. Everybody who drinks either drinks ale or what's the word for it? Wine or beer. So this is kind of weird. And the next thing that I think that they have really overlooked is sanitation or plumbing or sewage. Toilet related stuff. I know it's not glamorous, but how else do you think men survive? I mean, to be honest, I know we are simulating this, but I mean, this is how people settled. This is what settlers actually did when they went to a strange foreign land. They lived off Mother Earth. All the more reason why I say that the earth is God, nature is God. I mean, if we are pretending something else is, I think it's rest all of it is just a figment of our imagination. And if you consider that, you're going to be pissed with the fact that we are really exploiting God. See, this is why I say humans have exploited God, to be honest. Even in our actions as well as in our stories. If you look at all the stories, humans use the stories of God to implant a story of themselves, a mention of themselves. Yes, God existed, and who did he talk with? Who did he sleep with? Who did he expose himself to? Who did he show himself to? Humans. We have to be at the center of attention for everything. Obviously, the story has to be about us. It was written by us. And going by that principle, I sincerely believe that these people whose stories are written about, they wrote about it themselves. How did they do that? Well, to be honest, since they were remarkable human beings, they went and lived it. They let it happen so that it would be remembered. That's the price it takes to be a god, for Christ's sake. That's for the very veiled and put in very good reference, I might add. I'm really happy with that. I don't know if you guys are. Okay, so that was episode 1 of Going Medieval, where we got to play God to a bunch of settlers. Episode 2 will be out soon, and the link to that will be in the description box and on the top right corner of your screen. If you enjoyed this video, then do smash that like button and check out the game on Steam from the link in the description below. Also consider subscribing if you enjoyed this kind of narrative content. This is Ashes Bashes signing off. Until next video, game on.